Power BI Desktop is the application I currently have open. Using Power BI Desktop, and particularly Power Query, I can get data from a variety of sources and I can transform that data within Power Query. That data can then be used to effectively create important reports. Let's have a look at getting data. When I'm in the Power BI Desktop application and I look up here in my Home tab, I can see I can open up a variety of data sources. I'd like to start with an Excel workbook, and I can either click this button or go to Get Data and choose this button here. So I'm going to click Excel Workbook. The data that I'd like to collect is from an Excel file called Bike Customers. So I open up the Bike Customers file. A connection is made, and then what they call the navigator will appear. In the navigator, any tabs or sheets in that Excel file will be listed. There's just one here called Customers. I'll choose the Customers tab, and I can now see the data that actually is in that spreadsheet. And I'm going to choose Transform Data to load the data into Power Query. And here's the data here. Power Query is actually another application, so it's in its own window. I can switch back to the window that's Power BI and switch back to the window that's Power Query. What I see on the left-hand side is my customers table or customers sheet that was brought in from the Bike Customers Excel file. Now, a table in Power Query is called a query, and this number in brackets, 1, is telling me that I have one table or one query open in Power Query. I'd like to open up another Excel file. So from within Power Query Editor, I'm going to go to New Source and choose an Excel workbook. So you can open up an Excel workbook from inside of Power BI or inside of Power Query. I'll then choose the file I want to open, which I've called Orders History. I'll double click and open that file. Immediately the navigator will appear. The navigator will show me that there are actually two things I can import. So I'm going to click on Orders. Here's the data here in a preview, and I'll just click OK. I don't get a load or a transform data button because I'm already in Power Query. So in Power Query you just click OK, and now I have two queries on the left hand side, or tables that I've brought into Power Query. So getting data is simply a matter of choosing New Source in Power Query, or in Power BI, clicking whichever button is most appropriate.